Hey guys, welcome back to Stock My Closet. For today's project, I have taken 2.5 meter cotton fabric and 2 meter cotton lining fabric, and this is the measurement I'm using. You can adjust it according to your requirement. Firstly, I'll cut bodies on the lining fabric, and for that I have cut out the required length. I have folded the fabric by half in width and then in length. I've cut two lengths, one for front and one for back, and here I have 4 layers of fabric. Now I'll mark the measurements. Length is 17 inch including 1 inch for seam allowance. For shoulder, take half of shoulder width. In my measurement, shoulder width is 14.5 inch, so half of it will be 7.25 inch. Back neck is 5 inch, so I'm adding 0.25 inch to shoulder measurement and I'll mark a point at 7.5 inch. Neck width is 3 inch. Mark half inch downward for shoulder slope and join it to the neck width point. For armhole, take half of armhole round, that is 7.25 inch in my measurement. Extend this point. Mark half inch inwards for front armhole curve and join it to the shoulder slope point. From shoulder, mark a point at 11 inch shoulder to bust measurement and 16 inch length of bodies. Now I'll mark round measurements. For chest, I'm adding 2 inch of ease or losing. In my measurement, chest round is 35 inch. 35 plus 2 is 37 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 9.25 inch. For bust, I'm adding 3 inch of ease. In my measurement, bust round is 37 inch. 37 plus 3 is 40 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 10 inch. For waist, again I'm adding 3 inch of ease. In my measurement, waist round is 33 inch. 33 plus 3 is 36 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 9 inch. Join these points. I'll give slight curve to this pointed shape. I've added 1 inch for seam allowance. And now I'll draw front and back armhole curves. So with this, marking of bodice is complete. Now I'll cut it. I've cut bodies on lining. Now I'll cut it on the main fabric. So this is main fabric. I have folded the fabric by half in width. Now again fold the fabric by half in width like this. So I have cut out the bodies on the main fabric. Now I'll cut the neckline. I've taken front lining as well as main fabric. Neck width is 3 inch. Neck depth is 6.5 inch, adding half inch for seam allowance. So I'll mark a point at 7 inch. Again mark neck width point 3 inch and join these points. I'm making round shape neckline. And with this, bodice cutting is complete. Now I'll cut the bottom. For bottom, I'm making gathered skirt. I have cut out the required length, that is 29 inch including 1.5 inch for seam allowance. I have taken two lengths, one for front and one for back, and I have folded the fabric by half in width and then in length. This is on full side, and as you can see, this is directional print. On this side print is going upwards and on this side print is going downwards, so always keep in mind direction of the print. To change this, I'll just separate both pieces and I'll flip one side like this, and now you can see both prints are going in one direction. So this is cutting for bottom. I have taken required length, that is full length of dress minus body's length, and I have taken whole width of fabric to add gathers. So I have cut the bottom on the main fabric. Now I'll cut it on the lining. I have cut out the required length, that is 26.5 inch. including 1.5 inch for seam allowance. I'm keeping lining length around 2 inch less than the main fabric. Here I have two lengths, one for front and one for back, and 4 layers of fabric. Now I have cut gathered skirt on the main fabric, but for lining I'm cutting A-line skirt, because if I add gathers both on main fabric and lining, it will create a lot of bulge. So I'm making A-line skirt for lining. Now here I'll mark waist measurement. I'll add same ease as I did for the bodies. In my measurement, waist round is 33 inch and I have added 3 inch ease for bodies, so I'll add same 3 inch ease for the bottom. 33 plus 3 is 36 and dividing it by 4 I'll get 9 inch. Now from the top corner mark 7 inch downwards waist to hip measurement, and on this line I'll mark hip measurement. In my measurement, hip round is 38 inch and I'll add 6 inch of ease. 38 plus 6 is 44 and dividing it by 4 I'll get 11 inch. Join waist to hip and extend this point to the bottom like this. Now measure hip to bottom and mark same point on the opposite side and join it to the bottom with the curved ruler. I've added around 1 inch of seam allowance and I'll cut it out. So skirt cutting is complete. Now I'll cut the sleeves. I have cut out the required length for the sleeves and I have folded the fabric by half in width. Here I have two lengths. Sleeve length is 7 inch including 1 inch for seam allowance. I'll leave 1 inch on the top and 1 inch at the bottom. From this point, mark 3.5 inch downwards for cap height. Now from the unfold side, I'll mark a point at 3.5 inch inwards. Now for armhole width, divide bust measurement by 4 and deduct 1 inch out of it. In my measurement, bust round is 37 inch. 37 divided by 4 is around 9.25 inch and deducting 1 inch, I'll get 8.25 inch. Taking this line as center, I'll mark 8.25 inch. Join these points. Now measure and divide this line into 3 parts. This is around 9 inch, so I'll mark a point at 3 inch twice. Now from this point, mark half inch upwards, and from this point mark half inch upwards and 0.25 inch downwards. Now I'll draw front and back armhole curves. Join top corner with this curved line like this. Again taking this line as center, I'll mark half of sleeve round, that is 6.75 inch in my measurement. I'll add quarter inch elastic on the bottom of the sleeves, adding around 2 inch for seam allowance, and I'll cut it out. So with this, cutting of dress is complete. Now I'll stitch it. Firstly, I'll finish the bodies. Join front and back bodies right sides together and stitch shoulder slope on both main fabric and lining. So I've stitched shoulder slope. Now join both main fabric and lining right sides together and make a stitch on the neckline shape. So I made a stitch. Now I'll make small cuts all around the neckline. And turn the bodies inside out like this. So I've finished neckline. Now I'll stitch side fitting seam. Similarly, I'll stitch side fitting seam on the other side. And now I'll finish the bottom. I'll make finishing seam on the bottom side and basting stitch to add gathers on the top side. For finishing seam, double fold the seam allowance and make a stitch on the inner edge to secure it. So I finished the bottom. Now join both front and back pieces, right sides together, and stitch side fitting seam. So I made a stitch, keep the seam open, and now I'll make basting stitch. So I made a basting stitch. Now I'll pull bobbin thread to adjust gathers. Now the lining part. Firstly I'll finish the bottom side and then I'll stitch side fitting seam on both sides. To finish bottom, double fold the seam allowance like this and make a stitch on the inner edge to secure it. So I finished bottom. Now I'll stitch side fitting seam on both sides. Now I'll join lining with the main fabric. Match main fabric waist with the lining waist. Insert the lining into the main fabric like this. Match side seams. And now I'll make stitch on the waist round to secure it. I have pinned it up and now I'll make a stitch. So I made a stitch. Now I'll attach bodies and the bottom. Bodies and bottom waist are equal. Now insert right side of bodies into wrong side of the bottom. Match side seams and now I'll make a stitch on the waist round. So I've attached bodies and bottom. Now I'll finish the sleeves. Firstly I'll finish the sleeve round. Double fold the seam allowance and make a stitch on the inner edge to secure it. Now I'll add gathers on the top side. So I made gathers and this is how it looks. Now I'll attach elastic and for that I've marked 1 inch upwards from the bottom side. And I have left 2-inch seam allowance on both sides and marked the point. I've also marked center point. I'll mark center point on the elastic as well. I have taken elastic length 1 inch more than the sleeve round. In my measurement, sleeve round is 13.5 inch and I have taken elastic length 14.5 inch. Now join center point of both elastic and sleeve and pin it up. Now place end point of elastic on the marking of sleeve like this. Make few back and forth stitches to secure it. Now stretch the elastic and continue the stitch. So I have stitched it till center. Now I'll attach other end points of both elastic and sleeve. Stretch them and continue the stitch. So I've attached the elastic and this is how it will look. And this is how it will look from the right side. Similarly, I'll prepare the other sleeve. Now I'll stitch the side seam. So sleeve is ready. Now I'll attach it with the bodice, and for that take wrong side of bodice and insert right side of sleeve into the armhole like this. Match shoulders and side seams of both sleeve and bodice. And now I'll make a stitch around the armhole. So I've attached the sleeve. Similarly, I'll attach the other sleeve. And with this, my dress is ready and this is how it looks. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and do subscribe my channel for more such videos. And I'll see you next week. Till then, take care. Bye bye.